Hi, I'm Paul. Yesterday, I brought you a heavy version of caregiving for someone with Alzheimer's. Today, I wanted to kind of bring you the lighthearted side of things. My mother, who I take care of 24/7, is 89 years old, and a lot of things have been robbed of her from Alzheimer's, such as her memory, uh, awareness of where she is. Um, she doesn't necessarily know who I am, which is okay. Um, but one thing that was not robbed of her is her personality and also her wit. Back in 1954, she was named wittiest in her high school yearbook, and that wit shows up a lot. I don't think she knows she's doing it, it's just a natural reaction to surroundings. For instance, this morning, we were watching the news, and the newscaster was rambling on about something, and my mother said, "That guy's annoying. Turn off the TV and put on some music." And I looked at her and said, "Yeah, I'd rather listen to music than you crabbing about that anyway." And she turned and gave me what I call the look. We also call that hate eyes in my family. And she just kind of grumbled and said, "Turn the TV off and put on the music." And we both kind of laughed. And then later on, I was dusting with a Swiffer, and I walked over to her, and she was kind of zoning out. And I put the Swiffer on top of her head. And I said, "Ooh, I'm sorry, that's awkward. I thought that was dust, but that's just your white hair." And she just looked at me for about 10 seconds and said, I think I'd rather put that duster where you never wore a hat." And for her, saying "where you never wore a hat" is a euphemism for "I'm going to stick that up your ass." So, and we both kind of had a good laugh, and we can tease each other back and forth. And again, I don't always know if she knows who I am, but she gets the joke and she can go along with it. Um, so that's kind of a fun side of things. Another one, later on, after I got her dressed and washed her hair and helped her wash up, she was sitting there, it was kind of cold, and I took with the silk scarf that she wears often around her neck, and I asked her if it was tight enough. And she said, "Oh, it's tight enough, but I'm sure you want to make it a lot tighter." And I stopped for a second and said, "Well, yeah, I mean, there wouldn't be any fingerprints." And we both laughed, and she just kind of looked at me with the look once again. So there's always some funny moments that go on from day to day. There's a lot of unfunny moments, but after yesterday's heavier one about baby Paul at 2:30 a.m. crawling along the floor, I thought maybe it'd be time to share some of the funnier moments. And there are a lot of funny moments. We can tease each other all day long, or she just says outrageous things to me, and I just kind of laugh it off, because if you can't laugh as a caregiver, you're going to cry. I'm sure all the caregivers that are watching this know exactly what I mean. There are plenty of times when you want to cry, you're exhausted, you're frustrated, you're sad, but it's good to laugh, and it's good to laugh a lot. And I find something to laugh about nearly every day. Earlier again today, we've had a lot going on today. As I was preparing her to wash her hair, I said, "You need to take out your hairpins." And she just kind of looked at me. And I said, "Mom, you need to take out your hairpins." And she just looked at me again. I said, "Mom, you need to take out your hairpins." And she just looked at me and said, "I want to take you out." And it was kind of like, she wasn't saying like she wanted to take me on a date. It was like a mafia, "I want to take you out." And she just gave me the look, and then we both laughed. And she took her hairpins out, and I brought her over to the sink, and we washed her hair, and we moved on. But it was funny, and there are a lot of those kinds of funny moments. And then there are funny moments that she doesn't realize are funny, and I can laugh at those as well. like when she consistently calls me her sister Mary. At first, that made me a little sad and a little bit frustrated, but now I just laugh and go along with it and say, sure, exactly. Um, there's a lot of things that happen like that throughout the day, but they're just fun. You have to kind of take the good with the bad. If you're a caregiver out there and you have stories similar to this, I'd love to hear them. You can leave me a message and maybe I'll share some of them next week. It'd be kind of cool to hear other people's stories that are similar to mine. Because every now and then you have to laugh, because caregiving is exhausting, it's lonely, and it goes on and on and on. But if you can find that kind of nugget of humor in it, then God bless you. Take care.